Notes. Okay, guys. So, welcome to today's Facebook training. We're talking about hypervigilance. And let's see, I'll give you some criteria to let you know if you're hypervigilant or not. And the easiest one is, are you waiting for the shoe to drop, for the next thing to change, for the next problem to happen? Is it hard to relax, to feel safe, to feel calm in the present moment? Is your mind constantly searching for another threat, for another problem, for another thing to solve? Do you feel like the world is a dangerous place and you only get to have moments of safety? And you're dealing with hypervigilance. And hypervigilance, it's like the specter of trauma. It's the echo, it's kind of like when you burn something in the oven really badly and then the scent lingers, the smell just lingers and lingers. That's a lot like what hypervigilance is. It's what happens after the trauma where we didn't get a proper return back to our restful, safe state. Instead, we're stuck in the experience of anticipation of the next threat, anticipation when the next bad thing is going to happen, what's going to attack us next, what's going to happen to us. And this saps our energy. It keeps us adrenalized, got a lot of cortisol and adrenaline, epinephrine just flowing through our veins. We can't rest, we can't relax. Emotionally, it's exhausting. And fundamentally, it trains us to fear life, to fear change, and we can't break free. So let's talk about how we deal with this. What do we do with it? So it's an important thing to realize that hypervigilance has an important genesis. It comes from a very specific kind of experience, and it's called recurrent trauma. Basically, it's like this. Trauma number one happens. Traumatic event number one happens. You're like, okay, well, this happened. Got through it. I'm okay. We ground back to safety, back to restfulness, back to playing. Then bam, we get another one. Again, okay. Then our brain is like, well, okay, we'll come back to safety. We're okay right now. We don't have to fear right now. We're okay. And then boom, another one. And then another one. And then another one. And our brain starts to realize, it starts to conclude that it's not safe because these things keep happening over and over and over. So it trips the brain over into a more permanent hypervigilant state of looking for the next threat because experience has taught it to do that. So it's not actually something that's wrong with us. It's something cool. Hi. What's up? So it's something that our brain is doing to us to help us survive. So it's not there really to annoy us, but it certainly does can get in the way, especially when we feel safe. Now, if we're dealing with codependency, if we're dealing with toxic, narcissistic, or abusive relationships or systems, then you're going to exit those things with hypervigilance because of the chaos that they create in our lives, how they drive us to feel like we're always off kilter. They move the goalposts. They change the terms that we've agreed to. They change the actual definitions of words. I've had that done to me personally. We're like, no, it really doesn't mean that, or that's not how I see it. And you're like, what? And so this leads us to distrust reality, to distrust our own perception of reality, our own experience, and suddenly everything's a threat because we don't know what it's going to do, what's going to happen. We don't know how to deal with this. And so I want you to know that you're not crazy. What you're actually experiencing with hypervigilance and this recurrent anxiety is a very normal thing. It's not your fault. It's what your brain is trying to respond to because you were dealing with a chaotic, threatening system with the narcissist or with the abusive person. Okay, so you're not crazy. Now, let's talk about what we do about this, because a lot of times people talk about the concepts and then give a little tip and they run on their way. Hypervigilance is a very important component for us to identify and to begin to work with. There's two things we can do with hypervigilance. They're both necessary. The first one is we need to accomplish closure or accomplish closure with the core trauma event. We don't actually have to access the event to get closure, but we need to resolve its energy in our body so that we can come back to a place of rest, a place of safety, a place of play and creativity. So we need to get closure on the trauma. And that's what the Get Closure Now training that starts here in like 5 days will do for you. So if you want closure on your trauma, you want your freedom back, you want your identity back, you want your peace back, you want to go on with your life and actually have the things you really want, but your trauma keeps getting in the way of, then apply for your seat and get closure now. The second thing we need to do is start recreating our point of view. We have to create a new relationship with our life, with our perception of reality. And basically, we can do that in a very simple way. And it's a series of questions I'm going to ask you here, and then you can begin to embody them, practice them, put them into use in your life. So one thing that is absolutely necessary with anything that deals with trauma or deals with anxiety or anything that excites the body into a state of fear is we need to calm the body. We need to help it come back to a relaxed, open state. Because when it's in an aroused state, it's not going to assimilate and integrate information and new experiences well. So the way we do that is we do two things. One, we start to do this thing called touch regulation. That's my term for it. But this is a hand touch motion that was taught to me by a man named Mark Waldman. Okay? You just do this. And while you do this, you'll also invite yourself to yawn. There you go. And then give yourself another big, deep yawn. And then breathe into it and allow yourself to have one more deep yawn. Okay? What this does, and as you could probably notice, my speech has slowed down because my anxiety, my tension has dropped. That's what this does. It helps lower our state of arousal and comfort the nervous system, which signals the amygdala to stop signaling danger or threat or excitement, helps us relax. So that's step one. We do this along with breathing 3 times, big, deep yawns 3 times. And we allow our focus to come into a new awareness. What am I aware of now? What do I hear? What do I smell? What do I sense? What do I see? This helps us come down a little farther into that relaxed state. And just start to acknowledge where we're at. While we do this, we can focus on one object. We can just allow our attention to return to that object. And then you find yourself lost in thought or feeling, just return your attention back to that object. What this is doing is it's training our focus into the present moment. So we're getting a little bit of meditation, a little bit of mindfulness here. And then we can start observing the space between you and that object. Just notice the space between you and it. What that does is it anchors you into the reality that you're separate from your experience. Very important to helping the brain realize that what it thinks is happening and what is happening isn't the same thing. Helps us become the observer of our experience, our thoughts, or feelings, rather than the actor of them or being absorbed in them. Okay, so this brings in a concept of observing rather than absorbing what's going on. As we notice this, you do this, you're going to notice your mind and body relax. As they become more relaxed, you can ask yourself 6 specific questions. Is there a threat I can see? So you'd look around. No, not a threat I can see. Is there a threat I can hear? No. Is there a threat I can touch? Nope. Is there a threat I can taste? Is there a threat I can smell? And all of those are no's for me right now. Because if there was an actual danger, actual threat, one of those things would signal it. likely seeing it or hearing it. But yeah, so that leads me to the sixth question. Is there an actual physical threat right now? No. Now take a moment and just breathe that in. There's no threat right now. We're safe. We're okay. Our brain's beginning to realize it's okay. And now we want to reiterate our safety by validating our present reality. And we do that with 6 other questions. What is something safe that I can see right now? What is something safe that I can smell right now? What is something safe that I can touch? What is safe? What is something safe that I can taste? Like those chocolate cubes. What is something safe that I can hear? Am I actually safe? Yes, I am. And likely you are too, or you wouldn't be watching this, right? Now, your brain might start giving you all sorts of bullshit. Like, hey, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Those are thoughts. They're not facts. They're not the truth and they're not reality. They're just a thought. So what you can do is you can just breathe in to the reality that we're safe right now, despite having a thought that suggests we might not be. Okay? Because we can question that thought. We can qualify its truthfulness by checking our surroundings. Oh, well, no, it's not happening. It's not real. Oh, then it's a false thought. We just following and move on with our lives. So once you get into this place where you're feeling safe, just breathe it in. Let yourself have it. Let this become more and more normal. And notice where in your body you feel the safest, where you feel the calmest. And touch that space. Note it with your mind actively and allow yourself to rest into that, because that can be a place where you can return to and go, I remember how it felt to feel safe here. And that can help your body go, oh yeah, I can be safe. And that'll just greatly reduce your anxiety right there. It's one of the tricks I teach in the Codependency confidence system and in the Get Closure Now trainings, because we need to regulate our nervous system so we can kick some butt in life, okay? This is how we start to leave the hypervigilant state of mind and reprogram and recondition our mind and our body to see calm again, to be calm again, to feel and experience and acknowledge the safety of our reality, that we are fundamentally okay. We are truly definitely safe. That the world really is a pot of safety with little bits of danger here and there. This is where we can start to rest again, my friends. We can start to play again and engage and indulge in our creativity, in our vision, in our hope. Get out there and actually change our lives. Do the scary thing that will change our world for us. This is where we become courageous and curious and daring. So let me know what you got out of today's class. I appreciate you guys showing up. Work on this. Use the script. It's in the description. Go through it. Practice this. Follow this video over and over. Really regulate your nervous system back into its natural state of calm. And if you want help, you want to break free from that trauma, you want to have closure with it so you can move on with your life, then apply for your spot and get closure now. All you got to do is go to www.healyourtraumanow.com. Click the link in the description above if you're on Facebook, below if you're on YouTube. And if you want to eliminate your codependency and return to a control of your happiness, to real connection, and to your true identity, then enroll in Codependency Confidence. You can take my free masterclass on how I make that happen by going to masterclass.freetheself.com. The link is above if you're on Facebook, below if you're on YouTube. Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you for showing up for today's training. Tomorrow we will have another one in my trauma course here. We've got 5 days left before Get Closure Now starts. It's the last one for 2019. I'm thinking back to 2020. The next one will be in January of 2020. So if you want to make some real change fast, find closure to your trauma, actually experience relief so you can go on and do your happiness in your life, then you need to get in this class now. Don't sit on the fence. Don't worry about the cost. Jump in, get your consult. We'll help you. I'll help you figure out how to afford it, because it obviously is going to cost $1 or $2, but there's this thing I do called income aware pricing. That's going to help you get in. But take the leap, take the risk for your happiness. Okay, guys? Appreciate you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Bye-bye.